It's a blessing to me that we should meet. I want to thank each in a seat and anybody on their feet. We didn't think we'd be doing this back in 2003, but hey, here we are on live stream Podbean, hitting it off like 80s melodies from Aretha and Tina T. We're talking RESPECT that allows one to listen and for the other to speak. If we seek, we can find the pod poet that's inside. However, you should remember a poem doesn't have to rhyme. It can be a full page or just a few chat lines. You can be grown or a child. You or I may have the words the divine uses to save lives. But however you spend your time right now, we are live. Welcome to the PodPoets Lounge, spoken word and poetry trivia game show. I'm your host, Naquel. Appreciate you tuning in this evening. It is Saturday, May 22nd, and you're in the place where we have fun celebrating our fellow poets. So that means we got some Pod Poets trivia set up for you. There's going to be some word, power, sound, and some truly dope poets to get to know tonight. So if you're just tuning in, please stick around. I promise you, you will thank me later. For those who support the podcast as well, thank you so very much. We are super excited about tonight, and you should be too. Treasure Borde is here with us this evening alongside Taye Uhuru, and they are vibing in the lounge. I couldn't wait. You know, the suspense was literally tearing me up as I just anticipated this. So we'll get to meet them shortly. You can follow them on Instagram. I'm going to share their information right here. That's at Taye Uhuru, TAYEUHURU. And Treasure is at AYE_YO_Trey, TREY. Yes, and be sure to check them out, see what they got going on. We're going to learn about some of their happenings this evening. So get ready for that. And if you missed the last show, here is a quick clip from episode number 30 with our guest artist, Mike Lopedia, plus author and business owner, Supreme Poet. Here is a moment from that last episode.
Oftentimes than not, our Black men are painted as the face of negativity, violence, aggression. However, when you look into our community, we are spiritual, filled, peaceful people. A single strand of your hair is so strong that it defies gravity. You were customized and built with a warrior's body. You are just so damn godly. And ladies, I don't know about y'all, but I feel protected in a Black man's presence. And with all the hate they get, their realness remains relevant. Black man.
And in order to achieve that something in the first place, you have to work toward it. You have to climb to get it, you know. And someone who's an overachiever, that means they going above and beyond.
What you punch like? I punch like I got a new mission because I'm the new vision of an African-American icon, and I use my black chalk on the mic to make sure the score is even when I'm leaving. What you punch like? A poetic boy with a troubled tongue who has the will to speak up when trouble comes to our session.
Yeah, it was really a dope vibe hanging out with those amazing artists. I appreciated them so much for accepting the invitation and all of that good stuff. So if you missed that show, you can check it out on all streaming platforms for podcasts. Just pick your favorite and enjoy. If you did join us last episode, glad to have you back with us today. And if this is your first time listening, well, peace. Big ups. Thank you very much for tuning in. And wherever you are checking in from, thank you so very much. It is time to meet our artist this evening. Yes. Let me get them here on the line. Like I said, the group chat, there's been some conversation going back and forth in anticipation, getting the bios and all that good information to make this night what it's going to be. Are you guys online?
Yep, we're here.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Go. Awesome. So glad to have you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Treasure Borde and Taye, welcome to the PodPoets Lounge. How you guys feeling?
Feeling good.
Great.
Feeling great. How y'all feeling?
Fantastic, man. I'm feeling good today, bro. Indeed. So, like I said, man, I've been looking forward to this in anticipation, and I want to start with our conversation and our vibe with Treasure. Treasure, you are a New Jersey-based poet, actress, educator, counselor, and mentor, and also the owner of Golden Confections. The name alone has me like rubbing my stomach. But we're going to talk a little bit about Golden Confections and all these things, all these hats that you wear. But firstly, thank you so much for coming on the show. How you doing today?
I'm great. Thank you for inviting me. Yeah, it's Trey's Golden Confections on Instagram. It's the same. And yeah, that's my baby right there. Started out of a necessity and a need for vegan goods. It's all vegan donuts specifically. I do make other vegan options, but our focus is vegan donuts, just because we get as creative and as wild as we want to be.
Yes, I think sometimes that's the appeal when it comes to vegan treats. I like creativity, especially when it comes to that, because I don't know if you've been. How long have you been vegan?
So I call myself an 80% vegan. I've been doing it on and off for maybe the last 10 years. I was strictly vegan for like 4 years straight, 3 years straight.
Right.
So I would go back and forth a little bit. I am Caribbean, so it's pretty hard to be strictly vegan. But it's doable. It can do it. You can do it.
Why do you think the biggest reason for that is the type of food you brought up on?
Yeah, our history and our culture, especially my mom's Trinidadian, my stepdad is Jamaican. So our cultures are rooted a lot in like, what's the cheapest thing you can find, and a lot of the time it's like, corned beef hash with white rice. That was like a staple growing up. And I loved it, with some cabbage, and that was hitting.
The King's End. So you said Trini, and one parent was from Trinidadian.
So my mom is from Trinidad. I'm sorry, and my dad, not my stepdad. I don't like calling him that. He is Jamaican.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. All right. So you wear a lot of different hats.
I sure do.
Yeah, and I feel like operating a business, even when you have a team, it can be very demanding. Plus, cultivating your craft, your poets, and whatever other talents you have that I don't know about, but just thinking about, what I'm saying, that being a mom, being a wife, and then there's the work that you do off stage in your community. How exactly do you manage it all?
I am very clear on boundaries. I set a lot of clear boundaries. I had to learn that last year. I took a break from everything in January. I took a month off to see if poetry was really for me, if the arts were really for me, because I was ready to walk away from everything. But what I learned is that setting boundaries. I have a shut off time. I say no to my partners. I say no to, my friends. And I have me time, whatever that looks like for me.
Yeah.
But I think it starts with that. It starts with knowing what you're capable of and knowing what you need a break from.
Yes, indeed. I've heard similar sentiments about sort of how to manage yourself. Really, it's kind of like self-care and self-management. Is knowing where those boundaries need to be, because people will take energy from you. You know what I'm saying? And they don't always replenish it back. And not just people, but just all the things that you have going on. So I definitely dig that. I know that you're a parent,
Yes.
like myself. How old is your little one?
My daughter's 10.
10 years old.
Yeah.
Hey. How much do you enjoy being a mom?
Being a mom is crazy. Like, people think when moms say like my kid saved my life, they sometimes think that's an exaggeration. I was a young mom. I got pregnant at 19. I had my daughter at 20. So I was fortunate enough to have had a brother probably 3 years prior. My mom had a kid, later on in life. And I was 17 already, so I kind of got used to it. And there was like that non-selfish part of myself, that was really excited and elated.
Yeah.
But 10 years deep is a struggle, you know. I look at all my friends now, because I'm 31, you know, and they're now having kids, or they've only had kids for like the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, I was kind of one of the first ones. And, you know, you feel guilty, or you feel like, you know, I won't be able to take care of this little person. It's another human being. But I set boundaries with my child as well, you know, being a mom, teaching her how to set boundaries, teaching her how to have private time for herself. It's okay to say, Mom, I need alone time, you know.
Yeah.
It's okay. And if I think that we start that early, they get a much more self-aware, you know. So I know motherhood is probably the best club, the best hood to be a part of, honestly.
I gotta say, man, the dad club is pretty nice too.
Yeah.
Um, as you speak about, you know, your experience being a parent, and sort of the contrast between having a child later in life versus a little bit earlier, what do you think may have been some of the bright side, like the real positives that you found out of having your child before some of your peers did?
Um, Definitely, I think the learning curve. And then of course that's like on the, you know, that's on the upper end, but the lower end, the real frivolous part is kind of like, you know, when you want to go on vacations at 40 and 50, and you know your kid is of age, you know, to take care of themselves and to be, you know, self-sufficient. You won't mind, you can do those things. But I watched my mom do it. You know, my mom had me at 18, had my brother at 35. So just seeing the dramatic difference in just how we were raised. And I think that's the major thing. Like, you know, you're young, so you kind of have to grow up with your kid a little bit, and you have to learn some new things. But I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's one of the it's really rewarding, you know. And I think no matter when you do it, my mother taught me no one can shame you. No one can tell you that you did anything the wrong way. So yeah, I just grew up with that. Of course, there's shame attached to it when you come from certain places, or people think that, you know, you could have done better. That's what the people say a lot, right?
Expectations, absolutely,
Right.
of what you should have done with your own life. But definitely, I know that on the other side of this, there's parents out there, or not parents, but people who want to be parents, and they're not able to, you know, to have that experience in this life. So there's that as well. It's something, you know, when it comes to people judging, sometimes they say what they really don't know and understand. Okay, I wanted to ask you a little bit about your city, and just what comes to mind when you think about your city, Newark, New Jersey.
Art.
Okay.
I live in one of the artist capitals, you know. I am so blessed, and it's crazy because if you know the history of my city, or some of its history, you know, Amiri Baraka is our mayor. His father, you know, was one of the premier poets of our time.
Yes.
And it just,
Amiri Baraka.
you know, it's crazy. Like it's a blessing. I love my city.
Does it
And
energize
it's
you?
yes, and that's why it took off. You know, you can hear it in my voice, right? Like I just am so
Yeah.
appreciative.
Oh.
It energizes you, but it also, it's a love-hate relationship, you know. Last January, this January rather, when I took a break, I did it because of the pressures of being in an art city, being in an arts town, where you feel like everything is a competition. Mind you, we were in a pandemic, and you still feel like you got to compete for, you know, who's gonna watch your, you know, Zoom, who's gonna watch your content, you know. So
Okay.
yeah,
So there's those pros and cons. Okay,
yeah.
no doubt. But it sounds like, yeah, at the end of the day, you really like revere where you are, and it inspires you. I've done shows and I've talked about Amiri Baraka. He's been in some of our trivia. So I got mad love for New Jersey, and poets out of New Jersey, and you know some of them. I want to ask you if you have, do you have a piece that you can share with us?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yes, yes.
And I'm gonna pull something new out for you guys.
Okay.
I just wrote this for my mom maybe a couple weeks ago.
You
It's
hear
a
that,
little shorty,
Taye?
so I'm
It's a new
sorry.
joint. I was saying if you hear that, Taye, it's a new joint for
Oh
us.
yeah. I am I wrote it's a little short one, but it packs a punch. That's kind of my like specialty. I don't write for a long time, but you will remember it.
Mm.
So here we go. I walked in my mother's Ralph Lauren boots, forgetting where they've been. I know they've painted sidewalks the deepest of black. I can almost bet her calves made someone stare to guarantee her 5'3" frame felt 6 foot tall. It's a wonder I enjoy wearing these shoes at all. They're a size and a half too big. But as I learned at 8 years old, bigger sizes don't always mean they'll be the bigger person. Zipping them up as you zip your lip about why she needs help putting them on. They say you write poems about your mother like you'll forget her. I write poems for my mother to remind her. I snuck out of lives with sneakers bought by other chameleons. Experienced pain for the sake of beauty for 10 minutes of attention and integrity not even close to my heel height. So I ask you, how do I even still fit these shoes? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That was fire.
That's lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. What was that line about bigger size? Does not mean
They're the bigger person.
yeah, for real. So true. Fantastic, y'all. Do you have some more that you can share with us a little later on?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Okay, feeling that. Mm. I like that. Okay, listen back to the show and get some more of that. There's some stuff in there going on. And that was written about your mom or inspired by your mom?
Yeah. My mom gave me some. I don't wear heels. I'm a sneaker girl, sneaker head.
Okay.
So it's very hard for me like to buy shoes. Because I don't want to waste the money on them. And she gave me these boots, these Ralph Lauren boots that she had from maybe like 10 years ago. And was like, you can wear these to work. You'll be fine. And I know you don't buy shoes because you don't like them. And walking in someone else's shoes, literally and figuratively, kind of gives you a lot of insight on who that person is. So the poem was very nostalgic for me because I wrote, from that place.
Got you. That's beautiful, man. I love when poetry can do that in all its healing glory. It can just take you where you need to be when you need to be there. And then I heard something in there that said you write about your mom like you don't want to forget her.
Yeah, like people tell me, they used to tell me rather, I write a lot about women and I write too much about women and I write about my mom. And I remember one of the statements was, you write about your mother like you'll forget her. And that was super triggering, and that's why the next line is, I write about my mother to remind her, because all of these poems goes by my mom before I say them out loud to anybody else, just out of respect. Because I have a couple poems that get real deep and really, life experience. So I let her read them first. So she knows, But yeah, this is like reminders to her. This is what she'll have, forever. So it's not just for me. It's like a legacy type of thing.
That's lovely, man. That's really, really lovely. Okay, so you have some more for us later on. We're gonna shift over a little bit. Brother been patiently waiting. He just had the pleasure of hearing that dope piece.
Thank you.
Yeah. What is going on, King? How are you?
Oh yeah, I'm doing great. Salute to you, Queen. That poem was fire.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm feeling great. I'm excited.
That's what's up, man. That's the kind of energy that we like here. It's all good vibes. Brother, you are also phenomenal. And that's from knowing the things that you've done. Your bio is long, and it just had me thinking like, man, I can ask him so many questions. I could really build with this brother for a while. So trust and believe you're going to get some messages from me long after this show. And your energy as well, man, it's real peace. So also just honored and very privileged. Thank you so much for reaching out to the show. I'm more than humbled and happy that we're able to connect. How are you doing today? How has the day treated you so far?
Man, I'm feeling good. The weather was nice. I went for a walk. Everything is good.
Awesome. Awesome. You are an author, historian, uh, archivist,
Mm-hmm.
genealogist, and you're also an independent hip hop artist, as well as a teacher.
Well, I'm studying
You're
to be a
studying.
teacher. Yeah, yeah. I teach,
Okay,
but not in the traditional sense, not in the classroom. But I am attending
understood.
community college like that. So one day.
Got you. That's fantastic, and I want to encourage you in that as well, man. It really seems like you have what it takes. Your engagement with the community. I see the work that you do. And speaking of that work, we're going to touch on a little bit of that. But I want to kind of get the folks to a little insight into you being an author, historian, and all these different things. We're going to talk about your book later on. That book is the Afro Set Black Nationalist Party for Self-Defense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to get into that. And is that your first and only book, or just your?
Yeah, definitely. This is my first book.
Okay, congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
as well. Hope you have many more. As a historian, what time period in history do you like researching?
Well, honestly, I like studying global Black history. That's my favorite. Everywhere I
Okay.
go around the world, I always try to find the Black people and the
Mm-hmm.
accomplishments and the things
Mm-hmm.
that they have done. But as far
Mm-hmm.
as uh, the area that I would have more expertise on
Mm-hmm.
is the Black Power movement of Cleveland during the 1960s and 1970s. I actually was able to sit down and conduct hundreds of interviews and
Mm-hmm.
do years of research specifically on that time period.
Okay. What was the biggest, I guess, takeaway from that Black Power movement during that time period, in terms of its impact on Black people living in Cleveland?
I think it was a lot of things. I mean, it was just more community orientated, more people sticking
Okay.
together, people,
Mm-hmm.
willing to fight and sacrifice a lot more for change. You know what I'm saying? Especially by being
Mm-hmm.
a place where I'm from, a place where I live, a place where my family is from. I can kind of,
Mm-hmm.
relate to it a lot more. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Do you still see that the remnants or the residue of that spirit of that movement of that time period still in the community?
I think you see a little bit of it, but it's not as strong as it was, due to things like COINTELPRO, the war
Mm-hmm.
on drugs, the crack
Mm-hmm.
era, and different things like that. But they definitely planted some major seeds, and I think that I'm one of those examples of that.
How so?
Man, just going out into the community, trying to organize and,
Mm-hmm.
build institutions that
Mm-hmm.
would empower our people. In 2016, I co-founded a food cooperative. So
Yeah.
cooperative economics, that's one of the things
Okay.
that, the Black nationalists promoted. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that Garvey promoted. So it's something that's kind of
Mm-hmm.
always been around, so
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I wanted to try to do. And we've been successful. We've got a lot of people to, invest and come out
Mm-hmm.
and learn about cooperative economics. Hopefully we'll be opening up. Maybe next year we'll have a building.
That sounds amazing, man. I think it's an important part of the overall struggle for a better quality of life, more justice, just more living that our people yearn for. There's been I'm going to touch on this as well later on, as you mentioned, COINTELPRO, the war on drugs, other mechanisms and tools that have been used to undermine, the just the life and existence of Black people globally. Um, I want to ask you about being an archivist or an archivist. Did you have, because I didn't know what exactly this was. So did you have to like attend school for like records management or library science? How are you using a skill like that?
Well, no, I don't have a degree in being an archivist. It's just more so
Mm-hmm.
experience, like being a world traveler, being a
Okay.
historian, being an
Okay.
author. It's more of my independent study. So, in terms of my research, I've collected hundreds and thousands of pictures and documents and
Okay.
video footage and different things in reference to, like I said, the Black Power movement in Cleveland. So
Yes.
I've recovered a lot of pictures that people haven't seen in over 50 years. I've recovered video
Wow.
footage that people haven't seen for more than 50 years. So I have a lot of that stuff. Some was
Okay.
gifted to me by some of the elders. They was like, you the one, I want you to have it.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
nobody else get it. And then some of the
Right.
other things I had to actually hunt for them. Like I had to go out of town. I had to go to certain universities. I had to go to news stations. I had to go to, city hall and public libraries and, just
Yeah.
going to different places and collecting different things that I could find, old newspaper articles and things like that.
That is a serious amount of work, man. I just imagine. I'm thinking to myself, what does this brother eat? To have the fuel, to just keep going, and doing what you do. That's intense work. As you say, it's tenuous. It's tedious, right? Am I right?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. But I'm up for it. I'm built for it. I try to eat
Sounds
healthy,
like it,
man. I
man.
eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. You know what I'm saying? I'm eating more and more
Yeah,
fruits and vegetables every day. I try to make a smoothie once or twice a day, switch it up, green
that's what's
today,
up.
yellow tomorrow, orange, and
More
things
life,
like
yo.
that. Yeah,
That's great.
definitely.
And as you were talking about collecting information over the years, you made me think about Amiri Baraka.
Oh
I
yeah.
I visited Amiri Baraka's home a number of years ago, and when I did, he brought me and my wife. I think she was there. She was there, but I think he brought us into the basement, and we went into the basement, and in his basement there was like boxes and boxes and boxes. It would be like newspaper clippings, magazines.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like a catalog, and it was all stacked. And if yeah, man, it was like a treasure. It was just like a gem. I want to ask you, what are one or two of your highly regarded or prized collections of history so far?
I think it would definitely be video footage of my
Okay.
family. You know what I'm saying? Video footage of the
Mm-hmm.
Afro set, the Black Power groups marching and
Okay.
performing. I got footage of fashion shows,
Okay.
musical performances. Them playing the Congo drums, them doing the
Gotcha.
military
Okay.
drills. They had a drill team and different things like that. I definitely
Yeah.
cherish those for sure. Being able to see and
Yeah.
hear my
Mm-hmm.
uncle speak and
Mm-hmm.
some of the things that I read about and I heard people tell me about, I was able
Mm-hmm.
to hear him say some of those things. And
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Amiri Baraka. He was in Cleveland during that time. My uncle got a chance to work with him
Mm.
because my uncle was a
Okay.
poet. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Did his poetry influence you in any way? Did you read some of his poetry as well? Your
You speaking
uncle?
about my uncle? Oh,
Yes.
well, I was able to recover some of his poetry. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the things that people told me about his poetry, because they didn't record a lot
Mm-hmm.
of stuff back then, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
the
Okay.
information that they was giving to me, like he was very militant. He was very
Okay.
strong. He was very
Yes.
pro-black in his poetry, and I try to put a lot of that into my raps and put that into my
Okay.
music. So.
Indeed, man. And I think about that, being militant, being strong, being black. It's sometimes something that even black poets shy away from, or they run away from it. They don't embrace it in their art. Um, and it sounds like you had, the certain types of fertilizer, if you will, influences around you, and as you're growing up, that would have made you want to know more about yourself, sort of embrace your blackness. Is there anything that comes to mind when you think about um, why why you're into you so much and your
Oh
history?
yeah, definitely. That's something that started with my family at a young age. So basically, my great grandfather, he was a
Mm-hmm.
part of the Great Migration. He was one of the millions of African Americans that left the South and they came up to the North in search of better opportunities and less oppression. They was in Atlanta, they was in Georgia, and he came up to Cleveland in the 1920s and he
Mm-hmm.
joined the UNIA. He was a follower of Marcus Garvey. I never met
Okay.
my great grandfather, but my grandmother, his daughter, she was around at that time, so she attended some of the parades and marches.
Nice.
She
Okay.
watched them raise the red and black and green flag, and she shared some of these
Mm,
stories with me as a
mm-hmm,
kid. You know, she told me that her father
mm-hmm.
wanted to move back to Africa, and that we are
Okay.
Africans. You know, so I always
Okay.
admired and
Yeah.
respected Black history and African culture. And my uncle, which is, you know, my grandmother's son, my mom's brother, you know, he started his own movement, you know, in the
Okay.
1960s. So, you
Okay.
know, I grew up hearing the stories about my uncle and how
Yes.
powerful he was, but he was
Yes.
really respected, and how he took
Mm-hmm.
care of the family, all the
Mm-hmm.
things he did for different relatives, and, you know,
Mm-hmm.
teaching people Swahili, teaching people
Okay.
African language and African history and African
Mm-hmm.
culture. And, you know, my mom, she gave me my first Black history books, Black History A to Z.
Okay.
So, you know, I was
Okay.
blessed and fortunate enough
Yeah,
to,
that's
you
dope.
know, get a jump on those things.
Yes, indeed, man. And what a prize and a blessing it is, I think, to have that at such an early age. You know, if we understand how early, actually around 3 years old, the impacts of racism, white supremacy can be felt, you know how critical it is to take care of the mind of a developing child,
Man, no
so that
doubt.
they stay nice and safe. Um, you like spending time with family, as you just explained to us, and you also like studying different cultures. You like learning foreign languages, you like trying new foods, you like reading books, you enjoy gardening and writing music. Where, and because you so traveled, I want to ask you, where is your preferred place to write music in the world?
Man, you said my preferred place. I
Yeah.
don't really have a preferred place to write. It just, you know,
Oh
like they
yeah.
say, home is where the heart is. As long as my mood is right
Okay.
and my mental is
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
then I'm good. I could
Everything
be in,
aligned.
and yeah,
Okay.
I'd be in anywhere. But I definitely love and feel at home when I'm in Africa. That's my favorite place, my favorite continent. But it's almost
Hmm.
60 different countries in Africa. But I feel good whether I'm in South Africa or Kenya or
Yeah.
Ghana or Senegal or Egypt. You know, so.
That's what's up. That's what's up. If this were another show and we had more time, I would ask you sort of about the dynamics in those different places, because I'm curious. I'm very curious. I know, as you say, it's a big place, the big continent. There's many different cultures, ways of doing things, and there's different levels of influence, in terms of forces outside of Africa, or non-black forces. Racism, white supremacy, it influence plays out differently in different places. So I'll be curious to know what your experiences were like in the different countries. But that's for another day. Um,
Hmm.
I want to ask you, since you do like gardening, I like it myself. What are some of your favorite plants to raise?
Man, it's since the pandemic, I really haven't been able to
Mm-hmm.
do anything. My family, they got a garden
Mm,
going. I inspired them to
okay.
do that. So that was a win for me.
Nice,
I got them
nice.
to get out there and got the kids
Yeah,
active and things like that. But
beautiful.
my number one thing was my avocado. I had took this out
Okay.
avocado from I was in Colombia. I had a
Yeah,
pit and I
yeah.
brought it back. It was like
Mm. You can do
2017.
that. Years. That's a lot. You like
I
to do
mean, you know. So I planted it. I mean, I didn't even plant it. You know, I took the
it. Hmm.
toothpicks, and I don't
Okay.
know if you're familiar with the process,
Not
but
not
I had a
very, not very.
styrofoam. Yeah,
Okay.
okay. So I took the pit out of an avocado, and
Right.
I took a styrofoam cup, and I put the toothpicks in the side, and I put the water
Okay.
in the cup and let it sit,
Yeah.
and then the pit starts to crack open, and then the
Oh,
roots
okay.
start to come out. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And you know what I'm saying? Then
Science.
it
Okay.
turns into a plant. It starts growing up. Then I put it in the dirt, and it done got pretty tall now. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like a
Yeah, yeah,
tree, but just to see it grow to big leaves and everything like
yeah.
that. So
Beautiful
that's
sight.
one of my favorite, projects.
No doubt, man. That's lovely. And I think about, as you're talking about that, and you sound like you're lighting up, man. As you speak about it, I think about Marcus Garvey, and
Oh
in one of
yeah.
his speeches, it doesn't come to mind now, but he talks about the gentle touch of nature, and just how you. I think about how you can have that sort of power, strength, and force, and yet still, that balance, the tenderness, the delicate, the emotional soundness and spiritual connection, just like a holistic thing. And he came to mind when you talked about that just now. Yeah, I love nature, man. I love gardening, tomatoes and things like that. I haven't gotten myself all situated just yet for the spring going into summer, but I'm definitely working on it. Um, all right, Taye, brother, do you have a piece that you can share with us?
Oh man, you put me on the spot. Let me see. I'm gonna come off of something I got. Let me see. You want to hear a verse?
And I
This
also
is a.
have the stuff that you did send me. I received it.
Oh, okay, cool. So you gonna play that later? All right.
Okay.
Let me see. My mind runs 1,000,000 miles per hour. They can't stop me. They ain't got the power. If they put me in the ground, I still rise like a flower, higher than the Eiffel Tower. Ancestors give me power to devour each and every enemy and every coward. This for Fred Hampton, Mark Clark, Martin Luther King, and Rosa Parks, Bob Marley, and Peter Tosh. And all the slaves who had to run away in the dark. You in my heart. This for the lost martyrs, the Omar Majeeds and Bunchy Carters, and all the comrades who locked away on false charges, and all the soldiers that fought regardless, and all of those who died in the freedom rides and long marches.
And peace for now. Yeah. My kind of jam. All right, brother. Will you have some more for us later, right?
So I'm about to come up with something. I got flows in my head.
I bet you do, man. Absolutely brilliant, man. Thank you again for sharing. We're gonna get to know Taye a little bit later on, even more. But if you have just tuned in, or if you've been listening now for a little while, please continue to stick around. You are vibing at the Pod Poets Lounge with me, our Taye Uhuru and Treasure Borde. Be sure to follow and support their projects. Catch our latest episode at home or on the go from your favorite listening app. One of these poets tonight will get a prize sponsored by CompuFix Solutions, which is an IT firm providing safe and secure remote technical support. But tonight's Pod Poets Trivia winner will be dropping off some heat in the July issue of the Ink magazine. Their writing will be published there in the Spilled Ink section. Shout out to God's Ink, the spoken word artist, the creative director behind the Ink magazine, very funny host of the Words I Never Said podcast. Congrats as well, brother, to you for launching your open mic recently on the Clubhouse app. I will see you there soon. I think they just put it on Android. A little late, but we here. You can follow the Ink magazine at the Ink magazine on Instagram, and you can check out God's Ink at God's_Ink_spoken word. See what he's got going on. You can find us there while you're there at the_PodPoets_Lounge. And you can also check out our website, and be sure to subscribe on YouTube and help us grow our numbers there. So the vibe continues. Yes, indeedy. It is Pod Poets Trivia time. So let's get into that. Yeah. Let's shift things on over here. Okay. So tonight's categories are the stuff folder, IG, meaning Instagram poet, Black LGBTQ, rhythm and poetry, and word whiz. Those are our three categories for tonight, and they're also there in the description as a little reminder there. So the way this works is our poets are going to pick a category. I'm going to read and share the questions, or we're going to listen to something and then share the question based off what we heard. This first round will be all group questions. That means the poets will lock in their choice, and they can tell me out loud, or they can text it in the chat. If you're in the room and you want to play along, please join us. It's 1 point for each correct answer. And the questions can be multiple choice, or they can be true or false. All right. That's all the rules. You guys got that?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
Yes.
Ready.
Yes.
Ready.
Okay, we've got one ready.
Yo,
ready.
yeah,
Can we
I'm
get
ready.
a two?
I'm ready.
Yo,
Yep.
Okay, we got a two. All right, let's rock and let's roll. We're gonna start it off with a quick little test question, just to, get our feet wet. So let's do that. Your first question is, it's not worth any points. You shouldn't trust atoms because, is it A, they always starting stuff? Is it B, they make up everything? Or is it C, they're mostly empty space?
I'm gonna
That's an
say
easy one.
B.
B.
B is correct. Yes, you got it. All right, straight out the gate. All right, I like that. So let's get right into it. We'll start this off with treasure. You can pick our first category.
Okay. I'll go. You had poetry and rhythm, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep. I'll try that one.
Okay. Get right over there for you. All right, so here we go. This category, it shares a line or a lyric, and you just got to tell me if it's from a rap or if it's poetry.
Okay.
So here we go. Here's your first one, and this is for both of you. So your line is, it's a treachery hidden up the sleeves of men. Magic will only work for those who do believe in them. Who said this? Or not who said this, rather, but a rap. Is this from a rap song or from a poem?
I'm gonna say that's from a rap.
Okay, we've got rap. And what did you say?
I'm gonna go with a poem.
Poetry?
I'm gonna go with a poem. Poetry.
Okay. Treasure is actually right on this one. This is from a rap song by Salt and Pepper. I think that joint was called Black Magic. That song. Okay, you are up, Taye. What category for you, sir?
Okay, what is this? Let me see. Word whiz.
Okay, you got it. So these are sometimes literary devices, just terminologies relating to spoken word or poetry, or just words and trying to get the definitions. So here we go. Your first question from this category is, what is a capstone? And this is for both of you as well. What is a capstone? Is it A, a part of a vehicle's tires? Is it B, a stone fixed on top of something? Is it C, the final chapter of a novel? Or is it D, the hardest part of a project?
Man.
I hear the wheels turning.
B. I'm gonna go with B.
I'm gonna go with C.
Okay, C, the final chapter of a novel.
I could be wrong.
B is actually correct here.
Hey.
Yep. It is a stone fixed on top of something. All right, we are tied up. Okay, Treasure, it is your turn.
I'm gonna stick to what I was good at. Rhythm and poetry.
All right, you got it. I can dig that. Here is your line. A poem or a rap. Hell is empty and all the devils are here.
I'm gonna go rap.
Funny, by the way. Okay, you think
I'm
that's
gonna
I'm
right?
gonna go poet. Let me get poetry.
Okay. I like this one. All right. So this is actually from a poem.
Yeah.
So yes, Taye, you got that one correct. This one is from William Shakespeare.
Ooh. He has some words.
Interesting
Go ahead,
line,
Willie.
right? Got some balls there. All right. Okay. Taye, you are up. What category for you, sir?
Let me get that word whiz.
Indeed. Here we go. This term relates to the sense of what? Gustatory. Relates to the sense of, is it A, taste, B, smell, C, touch, or D, hearing?
Taste.
Yeah.
Tasting.
Okay.
A, taste.
Okay. Yes, that is correct. Well done. Yeah, I'll do that one just like that. All right, Treasure, you are up. What category for you?
Let's go word was again.
Word whiz. Tell us about this term. Which term relates to the sharpness in how you reply? The sharpness in how you reply. Is it A, ecliptic? Is it B, sharply? Is it C, reply all? Or is it D, rejoinder? This term relates to how sharply you reply.
Sharply.
Sometimes
Is it
witty.
B?
Yeah, I think B too. I'm gonna go the
Thinking
obvious
B?
choice. Yeah, B.
This is actually D. That is the best answer here. Rejoinder is a word that actually means reply, and rejoinder means reply, especially in a sharp or a witty way.
That was a good one.
That was a good guess, though. I threw that sharply in there. Threw it all. It's
You got
effective.
to throw us off. I see you. I see what you're doing there.
Taye, you are up. What category for you, sir?
I'm gonna go word whiz again.
All right, you got it, sir. Here we go. Tell me about this word. Which word refers to things that are going well? Is it A, sprightly? Is it B, unsatisfactory? Is it C, copacetic? Or is it D, wanting?
Copacetic.
Yeah, that's
We got
C.
C from both our poets. Yes, that is correct. A thing copacetic. Okay. Treasure, you are up. What category for you?
This same one. I'm liking this.
Word whiz?
Yeah, word whiz.
Okay. All right. Here's a little curveball for you. If you multiplied the number of syllables in the word abysmal times the number of letters in the word, your answer would be, if you multiply the number of
B.
syllables, we've got what? What was that?
B.
We've got B for Taye
B.
and B as well for Treasure. And B is about it. That is correct. Yes. Nicely done. Okay. Looking good here. It's a close game. It's 4 Treasure and 5 Taye. Let's get a couple more questions into this round and then get to know you guys a little bit more. I think Treasure is up.
Yeah. Oh, no. That was mine.
Oh, okay. So Taye, sorry. What category for you, sir?
Let me go with the rhythm and poetry.
All right. We are going there. Here's your line. Flame on. I know the light is bright, but keep on watching me. Is this from a rap song or from a poem? Flame on. I know the light is bright, but keep on watching me.
Man, I'm gonna have to go with, is that a song?
You think that is a song?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go song.
Okay, we've got song there as well. Did you say song as well, Taye?
Yeah, song.
You did. Okay. Y'all sticking together on that one, huh? Well, it worked out for you. It worked out for you. Yes, that is from KRS One. Hip hop versus rap. Okay. Let's get a couple more in there. Treasure, you are up. What category for you?
We're gonna go back to word whiz.
All right. Now, as soon as a category is finished, we will switch over to another category, and that will be it for the evening. So, word whiz is getting a lot of love tonight. The loving might have to come to an end in about 5 questions. All right, here you go. The word penumbra means the partially illuminated outer part of a shadow created by a solid object. Do you think this is true or false?
False.
False.
This is actually true.
What?
This one is actually true, yes. Here we go. Switching right back over. Taye, category for you, sir.
Let me get the rhyme.
Rhythm
The
and
rhyme
poetry.
of rhythm and poetry.
All right, here is your line. May God forgive us, though we dwell inside a paradox. Is this from a rap song or from a poem?
Poetry.
Okay, we got
Poetry.
poetry. Poetry
Poetry.
as well. This is a Tupac. This is actually a
Look
Tupac
at
line from
that.
Revolution.
Wow.
It's a Tupac line from one of his poems or one of.
Right. That's a
It's
good
a
one.
rap song, Revolution. I like that. I like that. Good try. Good try there. I like that. I like that. All right. One more question for this round. Treasure, where are you going to take us?
Rhythm and rhyme. Yeah.
All right. Let's head over there. Okay. Here is your line. That holy water that you soak in has been poisoned when everyone else is more comfortable remaining voiceless. Is this from a rap song or from a poem? That holy water that you soak in has been poisoned when everyone else is more comfortable remaining voiceless.
That's
Is
a
that a
song.
song?
That is a song.
We got song from both of you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're both correct once again.
I know who that is too.
Yes, say it, say it, say it.
Macklemore.
Yes, it is. And Ryan Lewis in their joint called Same Love. Oh, I like that. Well done. Nicely played, y'all. Okay, so it's a very, 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 very close game. All right. In fact, did you say song as well just now for that one, Taye?
Yeah, he said song.
He did. Okay. All right. Thank you. My apologies. So it's a very, very close game. He is 1 point in the lead at 7 to Treasure's 6. So that's where we are right now out of the first round. Very, very well played. Yes, indeed. Time to get back into some conversation with these amazing souls doing so much on and off stage. Okay, so here we go. Let's shift this back over. I had some questions for you, Treasure. We touched on a little bit about sort of what you do with your vegan treats business. I wanted to go back into that a little bit. Where can folks go to? You know what? Okay, let me do it this way. Like specializing in vegan treats. You know, I would think I've said this earlier. You kind of speaking my language. Have you ever done any kind of expos or food shows, like vegan food shows? I'm curious.
I've actually not. Because how this started, my parents are diabetics. I wanted to start giving them some. My dad ate a lot of like vegan, sugar-free type of treats that were absolutely disgusting. So I wanted to give him options that he knew were healthy. He knew what was in it, and he wasn't sacrificing taste. That's how the original thing started. Of course, my dad loves me and told everyone he knew. And then I started, selling them. I did a lot of smaller vendings. I've actually been really nervous to do larger ones because my own business is only 2 years old. So I'm kind of like still a baby, but I would love to like work up to that to do that, because I think that'll give me some of the validation that I also need to keep going. Because a lot of the times in business, you get those lulls or you get those slow periods. But I can say, because I have another business as well, this definitely showed me like what to do and how to do it during those times. Yeah.
Indeed. It's funny that you say that way, because there's this quote on my refrigerator that says something like, learn to deal with the valleys. The hills will take care of themselves.
Most definitely.
Something like that. It's always a nice reminder seeing that on the fridge. So you mentioned your other business. Is that EvoluCulture Ventures?
EvoluCulture, yep. EvoluCulture Ventures LLC. Yes, indeed.
Tell us a little bit about it. or all
Okay,
about it?
this excites me a lot. Okay, we are a poetry collective, collaborative. We are curators. We are poets.
Yes, yes.
All of us have our own talents. It is a
Hmm.
group of 5 amazing people. We are
Okay.
LLC'd as of 2020, so that was a big deal for us.
Nice.
Our CEO and founder is Sean Battle, a huge poetic force in Newark, New
Hmm.
Jersey, who kind of like became a like an anchor for me. And I'm actually his president, so he's the CEO. I am the president of that business. We actually are fortunate enough to have been in Lincoln Park Music Festival last year
Dope, dope.
as its first ever poetry night, poetry
Okay.
section, which is like a monumental thing.
Hmm. That's
And
fire.
through that, we've been around for the last 6 years in October.
Hmm.
It is just a huge way to give back to our city. We give, Sean has this
Hmm.
saying, it says, poets don't show, they show out. So we curate shows, for everyone. One of our favorite shows to do is call our Evolution Dope and Mic. And
Okay.
it started out as a monthly dope and mic, open mic rather, for people that just wanted to create, get in tune with poetry. And we're very
Hmm.
inclusive. It is
Hmm.
not just poetry. You can be a rapper, you can be a
Okay.
singer, you can be whatever you want to be.
Okay.
But yeah, that's like my other baby.
That's what's
And
up.
you can find us at evoluculture.com as well. Yes, we have a website where we sell merch. But yeah, that is like a major reason. I know I spoke to you before
Hmm.
about being an artist, but also being a curator and a business person. You kind of
Yeah.
have to have two minds.
Yeah, absolutely. And sort of go between the two as you need to. I know for me, sometimes wearing both hats, I get stuck in one hat, and it's sometimes hard to shift. But you do it quite gracefully, and I know it's not easy. That's two businesses, and again, as I started off the conversation in the interview by saying, you got quite a lot going on your plate, and in doing sort of the work in the public eye and being out there, you're touching and influencing a lot of people. You've taught some amazing rising stars, but obviously you shine yourself. You've been featured on the album Voices of New York.
Yeah.
Is that the Poetry Collective as well?
No, that is actually an amazing producer friend of mine. He is based out of London, and he came to New York to visit friends and said, I want to get together the dopest poets from New York and New Jersey.
Okay.
And he invited me, and that was a pleasure. That's on, anywhere you follow music, iTunes, Spotify.
Okay.
So yeah. And then I was a
What was
theater teacher for a long time. That's where the other part comes from.
okay? What was that project like? Working with those other poets to put that together. Was
Man, it
that the
was a
first time?
whirlwind. Yeah, it was my first time in a long time on a record. I actually
Okay.
wanted to sing my entire life. I grew up in the industry for a while. I was homeschooled because I was signed to a record label when I was 11. But decided high school, was great. So I went to high school. But
Understood. Okay.
my one of my lines is I lived many lives in this 31 years. But that was an amazing experience because I really got to know some poets that I have never heard of before, and I'm very in
Yeah.
touch with the New York scene,
Hmm.
and it's one of the reasons why, as a company at EvoluCulture, we don't deal in having the same people perform over and over and over. We
Okay.
love new artists, we love new people, we love new energy, and if that
Yeah.
energy comes from Brazil, it comes from Brazil. If it comes from New
Hmm.
York, it comes from New York. We take
Right.
it from wherever it comes from because everyone deserves a space.
Hmm.
But for me to get that opportunity, and I was only one of two New Jersey poets that he reached out to, so for
Yeah.
that to be the reason, it was amazing to be thought of in that way.
Hmm.
I think I told you before, I never really thought I was worthy of this scene when I first got into it.
Hmm.
But I know now, I realize creating your own lane is kind of the best way to
Yeah.
go. So
So
yeah.
true. So well said. Absolutely. I wanted to ask, as an entrepreneur, and a trailblazer in your own right, what are some challenges? You could even just think of one, perhaps,
hmm
that you've had to overcome to sort of keep your business on track, and maybe how you pivoted towards success in the face of that challenge.
Everything in business is not personal.
Mm,
Yeah, I think enough said. But everything in business is not personal.
Right. That's very
I know
important.
we spoke about juggling and understanding and learning, but we also spoke about, handling both hats. When you are in one hat, that's where you stay. When you're in the other one, that's where you stay. And sometimes you have to have a dual mind in certain situations and making certain decisions. But
Right.
I learned from the most lucrative of businesses around me that everything in business does not equal personal or does not equal malice. So, yeah.
Important lessons. Yeah, and I also, this is the last question I have before I ask you if you can share another piece with us. Is what advice would you give to someone who's interested in following their own passion for food?
Food, make sure you like it first.
Ah, I like that.
Make sure it tastes good to you first. Like I told you, this started out as a very selfish venture, something for my parents alone. So that means I needed it to taste good to them and for me.
Right.
And that's why it has, blown up and I've gotten such a great response because I cook for
Great
me.
advice.
Yeah.
I think that is outstanding advice, definitely. And your story is sort of, I've heard similar stories in how individuals that start vegan companies or vegan treats, whether it's a bar or like Kind or Honest, there's those different brands that cater towards that demographic of people, that it actually started from either allergies, something they couldn't eat, or just as you said, there's just a lot of poor choices out there. So you got to do your own thing. Okay, so Treasure, I think you have another piece ready. You
I
have another
sure
piece for
do.
us? Yes, yes.
I'm actually gonna do the piece that is on the album. So yeah, because it's
Voices of New
on
York.
Voice of New York. Yes, it is on the
Okay.
album without the musical portion. So
Okay.
yeah, this is the musical portion with it.
Yes.
Okay. Take what belongs to you to get ahead. Cause folks will use you up, but girl, don't let it be said that they used you and abused you, placed you in a rut. Don't forget, get yours no matter whose throat you cut. Not so average girls break through rib cages every day, B. Oh, you thought your heart was safe because you played a good game of high energy and ill intention and thought she wouldn't see right through it. The mind and the pussy have instant replay. The moment we had sex, you no longer had any say because sex and power do this thing and it gets crazy when everybody in the rooms thinks that they have it. But we're still out here calling sexually liberated women savage. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to stop fucking for space. Filling gaps and holes with bodies that have already left the game, but see, that comes with the intention that we failed to mention. Like, be easy, but not too easy, and be a bitch, but only where it fits, cause niggas ain't shit and bitches ain't loyal, but just last week we were trying to convince the world that we were actually royal. So I think it's why I asked myself, whatever happened to really good sex? You know, the kind where your souls match and you don't question their truths or their lies. You just know they treat you really, really good. See, I don't break through rib cages anymore. That became a very tedious chore because I put their pleasure before my own. They labeled me whore. So I had to do some spiritual protection, but don't get it twisted. I still like really good sex. I just needed to be healing first. So when you get the privilege to have really good sex, I need you to be healing first so you can look it in its face and say, no thanks. Forget so-called morals. Playing by your own rules. Stealing ain't never hurt nobody. Don't be no fool. Cause if you don't take, he ain't gonna give. Go ahead, get yours, girl. You know you gotta live. Thank you.
Yes. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. So
That was fire.
heartfelt, so
Queen.
warm.
You sound
Thank you,
beautiful.
thank
It's so
you.
hard hitting. Yeah. It had me upstairs here in the dome, swirling around. Beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I hope that we have time for one more. But for now, we're gonna talk a little bit more to our brother Taye
Gotcha.
Uhuru.
Oh, and I also want
Uh,
to say, Taye, I also traveled my ass off. had that privilege. And one of my favorite places is Ghana. So
Okay.
I found that amazing when you
what's up.
said that. I got blessed with Kente and we got robed as well while I was there. So that's amazing. Traveling is unmatched.
Oh wow! Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I got to do it. I'm the only one on this call right now that just wants to travel and hasn't done it quite like that. No, that's dope. That's really, really, really dope. So speaking of traveling, Taye, I wanted to ask you, when did your passion for traveling sort of develop?
I think it's something that started at a young age. My mom, she used to drive a Greyhound, so she would take me and my
Okay.
brothers and sisters, on trips to like New York or Chicago or Cincinnati, Detroit,
Yes.
places around the way.
Okay. And I know that some of your travels specifically deals with trips to Africa. You visit Africa often. I don't know how much that has changed, but I'm curious if you know the names Marira or Ashra.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Okay, okay. They were two of the individuals who I came across, learned a lot from about Black history, African history, Kemetic history, and also they came to mind when I thought about the type of work that you do. Have you ever met them?
Oh wow, that's an honor, man. To even be thought of, in the same capacity as some elders as great as they are. No, I never met them, man. Only on YouTube. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, indeed, definitely some elders who put in a lot of work to bring knowledge, information, and wisdom and history. Um, yeah, all that good stuff, and expose a lot of lies, things like that, through their work and their research. Yeah, it just comes to mind, man. Especially when I talk what you describe, all that goes into your researching, and the work that you do in archiving things. It definitely made me think of them and the trips that they take. Okay, so I want you to tell me about the trips that you curate to Africa and how our listeners who may be interested can learn more.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely. Every year I do educational tours. I take African Americans to different parts of Africa, and basically the purpose of the tours is to help clear up a lot of misconceptions and
Hmm.
misinformation that we have received throughout our life. You know what I'm saying? So we have tours available to Ghana, Senegal, Egypt,
Okay.
South Africa, Kenya. I'm looking to add more countries, Tanzania, Madagascar,
Okay.
as countries are opening up. You can go any
Hmm.
time of the year. You could do a payment plan. The tours
Okay.
include a hotel, breakfast,
Okay.
dinner, all of the activities, travel
Hmm.
insurance, flight insurance. So, for example, if we go to Egypt, we'll go
Hmm.
to the Valley of the Kings, the Valley of the Queens, Hatshepsut's Temple, the Temple of
Hmm.
Luxor, the Temple of Karnak, go to
Okay.
Saqqara, Giza, Memphis. We go to the Red Pyramid, the Bent Pyramid, the Step Pyramid, the Sphinx, the pyramids of Giza, the Cairo Museum. We
Mm.
ride the camels. We ride down the Nile. So all of these
Okay.
activities are included. You don't have to pay again. Everything will be covered. And the Egyptian tour is more so a focus on ancient African history, 5,000,
Okay.
10,000, years ago. But then, like I said, we have tours to Ghana where we focus on that West African transatlantic slave
Hmm.
trade history. Go to the Door
Okay.
of No Return, the slave
Okay.
dungeons. We learn about the Ashanti and different things like that.
Mm. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I love that kind of work. I love what you're doing. Um, so many people are really disconnected from even certain parts of their roots, um, because of the effects of transatlantic slave trade. So your work with these trips, plus your work with doing genealogy, um, really all just kind of ties in. What's one of the most rewarding things that you say you kind of get when you open up someone's eyes, or you open up someone's eyes to certain things about their culture that they did not know, certain aspects of just, just who they are. What are some of the reactions, responses, more or less more memorable ones that you can think of when people go on these trips and learn this from you?
I think it's definitely a boost of self confidence, self esteem. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Just
Yes.
it's more so an experience. It's hard to explain, but for
Okay.
example, like I
Mm-hmm,
said, we
mm-hmm,
go to
mm-hmm.
Egypt and you see these some of the greatest monuments that were
Mm-hmm.
ever built. And you go inside these tombs and temples, and you see people that look like you, black people with
Right.
afros and braids, or
Mm-hmm.
even reconnecting with the West African
Mm-hmm.
history. Because, like I said, I do genealogy, I do family trees, so I've been able
Mm-hmm.
to help people trace their roots from the 1700s,
Mm-hmm.
1800s, 1900s. So I think
Wow.
it's something that we all need. Our history is just as
Mm-hmm.
important as our air and our water and our food. That's like
Mm-hmm.
our guide, our GPS. When you type in the
Mm-hmm.
GPS, you can type where you're going, but it's going to ask where are you coming from, and
Mm-hmm.
that kind of alleviates a lot of things that you may come across in your path: roadblocks,
Right.
construction work, police. You know what I'm saying? Just it kind of
Mm-hmm.
navigates you. You know where you come from. You'll be a more confident person. And I've taken middle school students, college
Yeah.
students, high school students, elders,
Mm-hmm.
young adults.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that it lasts a lifetime. So you don't have to be
Mm.
too old or too young, or you know what I'm saying? It's for
Yeah.
everybody.
Got you. Beautiful, beautiful, and so well said. I love that point about how important history is, like air and water. Indeed. I got a few more questions before I ask you to share another piece, or we could play something that you've sent. So I wanted to get your definition of racism before we talk about your book.
Oh, okay. Wow. Um, I think racism is more like a power dynamic. People having the ability to make laws that affect
Mm,
another group of people's lives, having control over another group, making the determination whether you will go to jail or whether you will go free, or whether you can buy a house in this neighborhood, or whether you can get a loan for your business or a loan for your car, or whether you'll have healthy food, or whether you can go
mm,
to this school, or
mm-hmm,
things like that. I think that's racism.
okay. Did you experience it in your travels?
Um, the most racism I experienced was in America. So I think when you go to Africa, a lot of the racial oppression is almost non-existent. Like, say, for
Mm,
example, you go to a country, say you go to Ethiopia, you fly with Ethiopian Airways. It's a black-owned airline. The flight attendants are black. The pilots are black. You go to the airport named after somebody black. You go to the ATM. The people on the money are black. The taxi driver, the
mm,
baggage handler, the fireman, the police, the president, the mayor, the governor, everybody is black. You get what I'm saying? So it's instantly hundreds of pounds of pressure lifted off of you. So, I never been
mm,
in Africa and somebody say, "Oh, you black, we gonna get you." You know what I'm saying? Or you black, you
mm-hmm,
can't come here. You know what I'm saying? Usually, if they find out you an American, they'll embrace you. They'll show you even more love. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay. That's very interesting. So even in a country like Ethiopia, where you have different sort of representations of Africans, different levels of melanin, you might does do you see any of that kind of playing out? I don't like to use this word colorism.
hmm
I think it's really all just racism. But if I were to, for lack of a better term, do you see that kind of thing playing out where you have sort of the phenotypical traits, but you have the European mentality or attitudes and of mistreatment and injustices? Um, any of that? Did you see any of that? Just the same?
well, yeah, definitely amongst Africans. I wouldn't say it's in
Okay.
every country, but say for
Hmm.
Ethiopia, for example, it's a country with over 80 different ethnic groups. You know what I'm saying? So coming from
Okay.
America, I couldn't look at them and tell like, oh, you from this tribe or you from that tribe. It's
Yeah.
not really that obvious as oh, you're a white person. You get what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
their
Hmm.
differences a lot of times stem back from European colonialism, or groups of Europeans coming in and taking the land. Then
Hmm.
maybe when they leave, they redivide the land and
Hmm.
empower one group of people over another group of people. So you do have,
Hmm.
different things going on in Africa. But as far as just
Right.
straight racism, like, oh no, you black, I don't think that is as, much as an issue as in America.
America. Indeed, I find that in different conversations, I sometimes America gets branded as having like its own its own brand, if you will, of racism.
Yeah, I think so, man. Because a lot of countries they studied America because they was the best
Right.
at it. Germany, South Africa,
Mm,
any place you could think of, they
mm.
followed in the footsteps of America.
Deep indeed. You touched on this a little bit earlier, but I just want to mention this again. You, in your travels, you participated in fundraisers, food drives, back to school giveaways for people that are in need in both Cleveland, Haiti, the Philippines, and other countries. Where are some of the most memorable places that you traveled to provide some of your service work?
Man, I don't know. It's hard. I've been so many places. Like, they all special to me. So I don't,
Okay.
really
Okay.
put one over the other. But when I
Got you.
was living in the Dominican Republic, I studied
Mm-hmm.
abroad there. I was going to a university,
Mm-hmm.
and my classes would be in the morning. So in the afternoons, we would go to
Okay.
an orphanage and we would volunteer. We
Mm-hmm.
working with kids that don't have a mom, they don't have a dad, and they're like
Mm-hmm.
independently ran orphanages because
Okay.
you'll see kids out there. They may be sleeping outside. Like, we don't see that in America.
Not
Usually
right.
we'll see
Old adults.
adults,
Adults. Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But it's kids that's on the street. So there was a
Okay.
lady, she was kind of organizing the orphanage. So we would, donate money. We would help clean the orphanage. We would paint the walls, donate
Okay.
food. I did a lot of tutoring. I would bring my
Okay.
laptop in. I would let them play the games, educational games. We would do arts and crafts with them and different things like that, because like I say, some of those kids never met their parents. So we
Right.
just spending time with them, was a
That's how they
big
measure
help.
time, or measure love. I should say is time. So I've heard. Yeah, that's awesome work, man. Really huge heart, and just spreading the love out there, and putting the work behind it. Keep on doing your thing, bro.
Thank you.
Definitely.
I appreciate you.
Indeed, yes, sir. And yes, I think you had another thing that you're going to share with us, another poem, or I could play something if you'd like.
Oh yeah, throw that music on.
I got Black of the Berry, or I got Young Gun, or Legendary. What you want?
You throwing the Black of the Berry.
All right, here we go. Let me play this first.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Boy, don't you be scary, come and see what it do. Once you take a bite of this forbidden fruit, you will lose yourself. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Boy, don't you be scary, come and see what it do. Once you take a bite of this forbidden fruit, you will lose yourself.
Melanated goddess, a title that fits you but still is modest. I'm just being honest. You gave me life, I'm still astonished. To submit, I promise. Every day I must pay homage. Give me strength and knowledge to help me break this European bondage. Queen, forgive us for the times we betrayed you. Black queen, forgive us for the times that we played you. Black queen, forgive us for the times that we raped you. Black queen, forgive us for the times that we slaved you. Black queen, forgive us for the times we didn't save you. Black queen, forgive us for the times we tried to break you. Black queen, forgive us for the times we enslaved you. Queen, forgive us for the times we disobeyed you.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Boy, don't you be scary, come and see what it do. Once you take a bite of this forbidden fruit, you will lose yourself. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Boy, don't you be scary, come and see what it do. Once you take a bite of this forbidden fruit, you will lose yourself.
If you dark skin, brown skin, light skin, a mix, we all African. And they brought us in on the same ships, made us strip, put us in their chains and beat us with their whips. The black woman is the sole reason we exist. My black queen, thank you for giving us birth. My black queen, thank you for letting us nurse. My black queen, thank you for putting us first. My black queen, thank you for seeing our worth. My black queen, thank you for making it work. My black queen, thank you for surviving the worst. My black queen, thank you for healing this hurt. My black queen, thank you for life on earth.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Boy, don't you be scary, come and see what it do. Once you take a bite of this forbidden fruit, you will lose yourself. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Boy, don't you be scary, come and see what it do. Once you take a bite of this forbidden fruit, you will lose yourself.
My black queen, my black queen, my black queen, my black queen.
Yes. Dope joint right there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, King.
It's fantastic, man. Love that joint right there. My kind of joint. All right. I hope we'll see if there is time for one more from Taye and Treasure. So we've got probably about 30 minutes left in our
I love
vibe
that
here, but
I need to know where that can be found.
Oh, thank you.
Just had to say that. I gotta find it.
I'll send it to you.
That's what's up. It's Pod Poets Trivia time, so we are about to get right back into the swing of things. 6 points for Treasure and 7 points for Taye. And I think we'll start this off. Yeah, we'll have, this is going to be a mix. So these questions are going to be a mix of individual questions and group questions, but I'll let you know which is which. We'll start this round off with Treasure. What category would you like to start us off with?
Rhythm and poetry.
Rhythm and poetry. You got it. Here we go. This is a long line. Here it is. I was 20 years behind the times, so you found an audience ready. I do not disown you. Do not disown your progeny. Is this from a rap song or a poem?
Ooh.
I would have to say a poem.
This will be a group one for you guys.
Oh, okay. Rap song.
Okay, got it. Poem from Taye. And you said rap, Treasure? Rap?
Yes.
Okay. Taye is right on this one. That is a poem from Ezra Pound. Salutation the Second.
That's beautiful.
All right, let's have Taye select a category for us.
You got any more rhythm and poetry?
Yes, we do, sir. I got a line coming up for you here. The shot that killed him, yes, I heard, as I heard the 1,000 shots before. The shot that killed him, yes, I heard, as I heard the 1,000 shots before. This will be just for you, Taye.
Is that a song?
This is actually a poem. This one is actually poetry by Gwendolyn Brooks.
Oh, wow.
The boy died in my alley. All right, Treasure, you are up, and this will be just for you.
Did you have like black LGBTQ up there still?
Yes, we do. Here we go. Your question is, I'm going to introduce our countdown timer as we sort of wind down in the show here, so we can move things along a little bit quicker and hopefully scare you a little bit. Marsha P. Johnson was an outspoken transgender rights activist known for being a central figure in the Stonewall riots of 1969 and was also the subject of a Netflix documentary called, is it A, The Life and Death of Marsha P. Johnson, B, The Stonewall Riots of 69, C, What Black Pride Looks Like, or D, Bold Black Entrance?
That's definitely A.
Yes, it is correct. The Life and Death of Marsha P. Johnson. Well done. Fast. Okay. Taye, you are up, sir. What category for you?
Okay, you got any more whiz words?
Yeah, we do. Here you go. Got a few more of those. Here you are. What sort of reputation is redoubtable? What sort of reputation is redoubtable? Is it A, eager, B, formidable, C, suspicious, or D, sullen?
What type of
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
suspicious.
3, 2,
Suspicious.
1.
C is not
Suspicious.
correct. Unfortunately not. No, this one was B, formidable. All right, Treasure, you are up, and this is going to be just for you.
I'm
What
gonna
category?
do Black LGBTQ.
All right. We are back over there. Here's your question. Racial and class divisions sometimes made it difficult for Black and white women to see themselves as on the same side in the, is it A, the feminist movement, B, the BLM movement, or C, the labor rights movement?
10,
I want
9,
C.
8,
C?
7,
Yeah.
6.
This
5,
one is actually
Actually, it's A, isn't it?
3,
Yeah.
It is
2.
A. Yep, the feminist movement.
I'm thinking the 20s. Don't mind me.
I feel like that you are being pulled in a couple directions there.
Most definitely.
All right, Taye, you are up, sir. What category for you?
What's up with the stuff folder? We ain't did that yet.
All right, let's take a look.
Is that a category?
It is. Yep, we still got that category, and it's basically just different stuff. It could be different types of categories. Could be U.S. history. Could be almost anything. Just stuff, you know. Here's your question: a 10-year-old was among hundreds of demonstrators protesting the death of Freddie Gray outside of which police station in April of 2015? Where was it? Was it A, at the Baltimore Police Western District in Maryland? Was it B, the Metropolitan Police Department in St. Louis? Was it C, the St. Anthony Police Department of Minnesota? Or D, the New York Police Department, NYC?
Baltimore.
Yes, that is correct. Well done. Okay. Treasure, you are up. What category
Okay.
for you?
I'll do stuff. I liked it.
It's a folder. Okay. Here we go. Question is, decade of the 1950s in the United States was characterized by which of the following? Was it A, more women than men in the legal and the medical professions? Was it B, a declining birth rate? Was it C, widespread use of oral contraceptives? Or D, a steady rise in the number of women employees in the overall workforce?
10,
The last one.
9, 8, 7.
Steady
6,
rise in the number of women
5,
employed in the
4,
overall workforce
3,
is correct.
2.
Yes. Well done. Well done. It is a very, very close game. A few more questions to go. We have 8 points for Treasure and 9 points for Taye. Keeping it close, huh? Okay. That's cool. That's cool. All right, Taye. What category for you, sir?
The stuff folder.
Okay. Go over there. Here. Okay. The mood of the, quote, beat generation is best reflected in which of the following? The mood of the Beat Generation is best reflected in which of the following? Is it A, Jack Kerouac's On the Road? Is it B, F. Scott Fitzgerald's This Side of Paradise? Is it C, Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman? Or is it D, J.D. Salinger's Catcher in the Rye?
Man, C.
Going with C on this, Arthur Miller's. This one is actually A, On the Road by Jack Kerouac. It's a good guess. Here we go. Sliding on over to Treasure. Let's get a couple more questions out of this round.
I'm going to keep it up with stuff.
All right. We stay
Loving
on
these questions.
All right. Here you go. In a not guilty verdict, the officer charged with second-degree manslaughter in the July 2016 murder of Philando Castile was named, was it A, Geronimo Yanez, B, Timothy Lohman, or C, George Zimmerman? A, Geronimo Yanez is correct. Very, very nicely done indeed. And you tied it up right there. So we are going to stop right there for now. And I have a few more questions. They're sort of like rapid fire questions. Basically, answer as quickly as you can. You don't have to think too much. Here we go. Let's scroll down to those and fire away. All right. We'll also save some time a little later for you to let folks know what you've got going on, how they can contact you, stay in touch. Please feel free to text and share your websites and that sort of information in the chat for those that are here with us, vibing. And big up wherever you are listening from. Once again, thanks for tuning in. This is the Pod Poets Lounge game show. We're chilling with hip-hop artist Taye and Newark's own Treasure Borde, poet and educator. Check out the Pod Poets Instaplay trivia game for this episode, number 31, on Instagram, where the fun and the celebration continues. So here we are. I've got these questions for. Okay, we'll start with you, Taye. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Has there been any reactions to your lyrics or your any of your songs that ever surprised you?
No, not really. Not at this point. I mean, I'm just thankful for the feedback. You know what I'm saying? It's usually something positive for sure.
Okay. What do you want people to get when they think about your brand?
Man, you know, Black excellence, Black beauty, Black love, Black history, you know, Black family for sure.
Okay. Do you have any hidden talents people might not know about you?
Nah, not really.
Okay. If your pen could rewrite a part of history, where would you go and why?
Oh, wow. I'll probably have to start with, you know, the slave trade. I would have to rewrite that. You know, we've been kind of shattered since then.
Okay. And one of your favorite ways to relax, either before or after, or when you are writing?
I think maybe listening to music.
Okay. Okay. Is there anything that you become sort of laser focused about or really mindful of when you're about to perform, like almost immediately, whether it's your energy level, eye contact, or your breathing or your posture, anything like that?
I try to focus on my breathing. That's my biggest, you know, hurdle.
Okay. What is the last body part you would want to write a poem or a song about?
Yeah, man. The last body part, right? Maybe my feet, my legs, or my feet or something.
Okay. All right. What is one bad and one good habit that you've learned from a celebrity? And you don't have to name the celebrity.
I mean, a bad habit is, You know, you can't trust everybody. You can't take care of everybody. You know what I'm saying? You got to keep your circle small.
Okay. All right. Any good habits you learned from a celebrity?
Consistency, sticking with it.
Okay. For sure. And do you prefer writing or typing?
If it's music, I prefer to write.
Okay. And a couple more. For you at this stage of your life, do you prefer endless money or endless justice?
Endless justice, for sure.
Okay. And what home appliance do you use the most these days?
Oh, definitely the blender.
The blender, for the juices?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what's up. Okay, sir, those are your rapid fire questions. I think we can squeeze in maybe another piece. If you
got a track left?
Time. Yes, sir.
Revolutionaries Go to Heaven.
Okay. See if we can get to as much of that as we can. Here we go. Another dope track, by the way. Yes, sir.
Dear God, I got one question. I need to know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? And if so, may their legacies last forever and their seeds grow. Tell them that we love them so and never let them die slow. It's like we cursed to be born black. We was kings and queens, now look where we at. I know it won't be long before we take it back. I just hope I live long enough to see it happen, and that's a fact. Cause one thing when you pro-black, you might love your people, but they may not love you back. For more than 400 years, we've been under attack. We survived slavery and then they gave us crack. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope my mind runs 1,000,000 miles per hour. They can't stop me, they ain't got the power. If they put me in the ground, I still rise like a flower, higher than the Eiffel Tower. Ancestors give me power to devour each and every enemy and every doubt. It's a Fred Hampton, Mark Clark, Martin Luther King, and Rosa Parks, Bob Marley, and Peter Tosh, and all the slaves who had to run away in the dark. You in my heart. This for the lost martyrs, the Omar Majeeds and Bunchy Carters, and all the comrades that's locked away on false charges, and all the soldiers that fought regardless, and those who died in the freedom rides and long marches. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? 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 I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I wanna know. Do revolutionaries go to heaven? I hope so.
Yes. Another dope joint, man.
Thank you, King. I truly appreciate you.
You're welcome, man. Made me think about Tupac's question. Thug Mansion, I think it is.
Oh, yeah.
Made me think about that. It's a powerful question, man. It's a really powerful question. I would love to go into that if we had more time. You know, do revolutionaries go to heaven? Certainly sacrifice, right? Where you dying for a cause that's greater than yourself. Does that mean you should reap the benefits of such a sacrifice, such selflessness? what on the other side, we transition to the next chapter. Powerful song, powerful song. Okay, so we've got a few more minutes remaining. I do want to shift over to Treasure for these rapid fire questions, and then see if we have time for maybe a quick piece.
Yep.
So I would love to hear, even if it's a quick piece, a few lines. Oh my. Okay. All right, Treasure, here you go. Your rapid fire questions. Do you have any hidden talents that people might not know about?
I have a pilot's license.
Oh, okay. What do you want people to get when they think about your brand?
Change.
If your pen could rewrite a part of history, where would you go and why?
1920s Renaissance.
Okay. Why?
The sacrifices in that time for Black women specifically, and being marginalized and put in a box. People like Ma Rainey are huge influences. Billie Holiday, all those women that kind of turned everything on its head for the sake of their art, but also sacrificed for the sake of it as well. I would want to go there.
No doubt. You'd be in good company. Okay. Favorite ways to relax before, after, or when you write?
Singing.
Okay. One bad and one good habit that you picked up from a celebrity.
Always remain human.
Okay.
And you don't have to always be on the scene. Thank you, Kendrick Lamar.
Okay. Love it. All right. Do you prefer writing or typing?
Typing.
Okay. How do you celebrate when something big good happens?
I call my mom.
Okay. All right. So keep the celebration going with mom.
Yeah.
I like that. What home appliance do you use most often these days?
Oh, the oven. Air fryer / oven.
Okay. We first got our air fryer, and
it's a
weren't really
game
using it
changer.
much. Man, listen to me. At first, that was not the best investment, and now every day,
Every day.
multiple times a day,
yeah.
it's getting used. You know it. Yeah, we here. Endless money or endless justice for you at this stage of life?
Endless justice.
And where's your favorite place to write?
In the shower.
All up in the dome?
I'm a long bath girl, long shower girl, so I can be there 2 hours.
Oh, with your notepad, okay.
Yeah, or my phone. I'm a big typer on my phone. Notes is my best friend. Yeah.
Oh, likewise. That's what's up. And has there been any reactions to your poetry or songs that has ever surprised you?
Yes.
Care to share?
Yeah. Super quick. Again, writing about my mom all the time. Being honest about having other women talk to their mothers and open up to their mothers. I've apparently influenced a lot of people to do that. And to finally talk about some traumas. And I think that's been a huge thing, because every time I get to perform, I think it's a blessing, and I take it as such. So it's a huge compliment when people can come up to you and say, I'm gonna call my mom and I'm gonna tell her, how I feel. So yeah.
Doing that work. Okay. I love that, by the way. I love that story right there.
You.
Yeah, that's what's up. That is just magical. Okay. Lastly, is there anything that that you become sort of laser focused on and mindful of immediately or shortly after you're about to perform or start performing? Either energy level, eye contact, posture.
Definitely energy. I try to give myself as much grace as possible, because if I'm nervous, I need to give myself that grace to, it's okay if you fumble.
Yeah.
It's okay to forget. And that sets the tone for me, the entire performance.
And setting that tone is so important. For all y'all are listening out there, up and coming aspiring poets or spoken word artists, definitely take in the gems from both of these guests tonight. They got a lot of them. Lastly, okay, I think we have some time. Yeah, we got a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have another piece? You can
Yeah. This is some new-ish too. So yeah.
lay it on me.
Here we go.
Okay.
They say time heals. Don't go build no life without me, 'cause you're mine still. And I don't wanna go unless you make me. That doesn't sound strange to you. Love becomes a tactical distraction. You know, like a strategic deflection. See how I said the same thing? Annoyed is the educated fool known for sex and stimulating conversation. Toxicity tastes better with no chaser. So stop talking. Stop making sense. Don't start being open about your traumas. Actually, talk about your abandonment issues in a home with 3 kids and just a mama. 12 numbers, 2 hands, full circle, and still outnumbered. Time only heals when bonds are healthy. Any bond that doesn't build anything is a liability. Long gone should be our father's ideas of promiscuity. See, I took a trip to guilt upon exiting. You know, like falling into a trap of manipulative piranhas. Same thing. How I succeed after I leave is none of your concern. Was never raised as property. Some people, just people like precious metals. Some may even say treasure. You can take your rap dressed up in genius and save your production and go. I don't wanna go unless you make me. How many lives will we lose to love? How many lives will we lose to love? How many lives will we lose to love that knows no boundaries? Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Once again, so delightful. Thank you, Treasure. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Very welcome. I'm glad that we had some time to hear something else from you. And those who feel like they got teased a bit tonight with this, please follow and check out these guests and check out their work. All right. So we're gonna shift over back to the Pod Poets trivia for our last few questions. I'm gonna take us into the rhythm and poetry category. And we're gonna do 2 questions each because you're tied up now. We're gonna do 2 questions each and see how you see who wins. So we'll start off with Treasure, and here is the first one for you from the rhythm and poetry category. And then after this, we will wrap up. So here's your question. I'm sorry, your line. Let me know if it's rap song or poem. For you, I would peel open the clouds like new fruit and give you lightning and thunder as a dowry, and I would clasp the constellations across your waist.
This is so. This is poetry. Even if it's not, it's a dope line. But poetry, I'm gonna go with poetry.
Unfortunately, this one
It's
is
a rap. I know
rap.
it.
Yeah, but guess what? It's from Mos Def featuring Jill Scott.
See,
So
half and half. I knew it.
Yeah, man, this was a tough one for you. This was a tough one for you. Man, okay, here you go. Here's your next one. Let's get it here. Yeah, that was a good one, man.
That was good.
It's the next one. Okay, here we are. I was saying it to stop the sensation of falling off the round, turning world into cold, blue-black space. Is this a rap song or poem?
I'm so conflicted. That's. I'm learning so much tonight. It's a poem. I'm gonna just go with my first heart. It's a poem.
Yes, you are correct. That is a poem from In the Waiting Room by Elizabeth Bishop. Okay, so you got 1 out of your last 2. Puts you at 9. Okay, 10 points. Okay, 10 points. And Taye,
Yes, sir.
you ready, sir? Okay, here are your 2 questions from the same category.
Okay, cool.
The versatile, honey-sticking, wild golden child dwelling in the rotten apple, you get tackled or caught by the devil's lasso. Is this from a rap or a poem?
That's a rap.
Okay, that is correct, sir. Yes, from Nas. The world is yours. And here is your next line. I was 10 when they buried you. At 20, I tried to die and get back to you. Is this from a rap song or a poem?
I'm gonna say
10, 9,
Poem?
8, 7, 6,
Okay,
5.
that is correct.
Yay,
Yes, sir.
Taye!
And with that, congratulations to
That's
Taye.
awesome. Congratulations.
Well done. He's
Thank
the
you,
winner of
thank
our
you.
episode 30. Congratulations as well, of course, to Treasure Borde. Yes, Treasure is going to be receiving our sponsorship prize from Confections Solutions. So look out for that email, Treasure. That'll be a free diagnostics repair from this IT services provider that we've partnered with. We have probably about 20 seconds or so each, if we can do that, to just let folks know any final thoughts, words, and where they can contact you. We'll start with you, Treasure.
So first I put it in the chat, but it's EvoluCulture.com for all our merch, anything about us. My personal Instagram is AyoTrey. EvoluCulture's our Instagram as well, and Trey's Golden Confections is the vegan donuts.
Yes. All right, and Taye, I gotta check those out.
Oh, okay. I definitely want to thank y'all for having me on the show. I had a great time. If anybody have any questions about the tours, traveling, the book, the music, they can reach me at campcleveland.org. And I'm on Instagram and Facebook as Camp Cleveland.
All right, fantastic. Thank you again for listening wherever you are, for spending some time with us. Email thepodpoetslounge@gmail.com for bookings, and you can always vibe live right here. Stay tuned for our next show, episode number 32. We are going to be live. Thank you to our special guests, Treasure and Taye, for blessing the space. It was a true pleasure having you on the show, evidenced by the smile on my face. Stay safe and stay positive, and take good care. Peace.
All right. Peace, family.
Peace, family.
Peace. Congratulations to episode 31's winner, traveler, historian, and author Taye Uhuru. And thank you to Treasure for blessing the Pod Poets Lounge with your spirit, your light, and your intelligence. Remember to listen on your favorite app and tune in June 5th for our next episode of fun celebrating these amazing poets, 7 to 9 Eastern Time. And next month, we have some exciting news to announce. Our newest sponsorship partner is Sunny's Way Images. Get to know them at sunnyswayimages.com for service and pricing. And look out for the Spilled Ink Showcase featuring Taye. And remember to follow the Ink magazine. Check out the Words I Never Said podcast every Wednesday, hosted by God's Ink. Also, next Wednesday, I want you to check out Adulting and Erotic Poetry podcast featuring adult fun, conversation, comedy, and erotic poetry, hosted by JP Justice, Mona Borde, and Shonda P. Showtime is 9 to 11 every Wednesday at facebook.com/Wednesday Night Adulting. I had the pleasure of stopping by for an episode there, and it was really, really a lot of fun. Once again, to you, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you. And as always, thanks for listening. Peace.